Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. We will now continue our broadcast about verse 434 of the Holy Quran, in which we're talking about the rights of men and women within a marriage. So, we have previously discussed how men are the maintainers of women and what the word kawamun means. And now we will move on to talk a little bit more about this topic. So, my next question for Mrs. Aziz is: men are said to have an advantage over women with regard to what they earn. So, how is this advantage that has been given to men misunderstood and misused in our societies?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Your question about what kind of advantages men take and they are misunderstood out of this ayat 434. I feel we can't blame the scriptures of Allah. It is our own understanding that has to come under scrutiny to look at the abuses of self-given power that men in general have acquired. So it is an assumption on their part that they feel that they have more rights, that Allah has given them more rights. It is commonly seen in our societies that a man thinks he has God-given rights to control women in his life as he pleases. He makes all the efforts to get these rights, but when it comes to his responsibilities, he shies away from them. And sadly, that's what we see around us more and more than a picture of equality, which we want to see. He thinks he has the right to make any decisions he likes for his wife and his children. If his father is deceased, he assumes power over his sisters and mother. He doesn't think he needs anyone's permission or their opinion about any decisions that he makes for them. He has a right to have sexual relations with his wife as he likes. He can marry another wife if he likes without the consent of his existing wife. He can marry off his daughters and sons to whom he likes, and he can even force his sisters to marry. He can punish his wife and family members the way he likes. They all have to obey him, and they have to put up with his behavior, this unreasonable demands that he makes on them. Sadly, this kind of behavior is quite common in the world today, and women often experience the extremes of bad treatment at the hands of men. And something has to be done collectively to change the status quo. So the answer of this question is that it is assumed power, not given power.
Right.
It is assumed by men that they think that they have these God-given rights to them to control women the way they like.
Right. Which is very unfortunate, but we see this in our society all the time.
Absolutely.
So let us move on with this verse, and we come to the word nashuz, which is later on in this verse where it says, so the good women are obedient, guarding the unseen as Allah has guarded, and as to those on whose part you feared desertion. So let us go deeper into the meaning of this word and think about what are the different meanings and usage of the word nashuz, and what kind of nashuz does this verse really talk about in the context of which it has been revealed and the other topics it contains.
The word nushuz, as translated by Maulana Muhammad Ali, is desertion. Desertion primarily means rising, and it means rising. And as spoken of a woman in connection with her husband, it means her rising against her husband. This is explained in a number of ways. According to one of those explanations, it means leaving the husband's place and taking up an abode which he does not like. So it is something that she has done which is against the principles of Islam, and this is what nushuz is, that she has taken herself away to live somewhere where the husband is not pleased about. Nushuz on the part of the woman means that the wife resisted her husband and hated him. In other places, it is said that she deserted him. So it is used at a time when things are not going right. So nushuz also translated as to get up against someone. I found another, the same word used in a different context. In Surah Al-Mujadila, Ayat 11, it says, وَإِذَا كُلَّ أَنْشَزُوا فَانْشَزُوا. And when it is said, rise up, rise up. So this is not about a woman. This is about when Islam was very new and people were converting and finding out about Prophet Muhammad, and they wanted to be close to him. So they would come and sit near him in the mosque as close to him as they could and listen to what he was saying. So he had a lot of work to do. So Allah said in his Holy Quran that when you are asked to rise up and move out of his way so that he can carry on his work. So the word is, it's just a different use of it, but it is a completely different use to what a woman's nushuz is, that where she has done something and she has sort of broken the rules of Allah more than anything else, really. And between husband and wife, rise up or rise against happens when there is discord in the relationship. You can say that a woman rose up against her husband, and she can do and he can do the same against her. So the same can apply to him as well. Nushuz on either side means rising up to refusing to fulfill the obligations you have towards the spouse. So you have not fulfilled your obligations as a wife or as a husband. Nushuz by the wife is not determined by the personal opinion of the husband that she is doing something wrong. So he can't use it against her that anything he can sort of say that this is because of that. In fact, nushuz is to rise up against the teachings of Islam and its moral code. It is not nushuz to merely go against the whims of the husband. So this word needs explanation. People don't fully understand it. I didn't fully understand it till I sort of looked at it in depth. So it is something that where you have not fulfilled your duties in a married marital relationship, and you haven't fulfilled what Allah has asked you to fulfill. Not the husband's wishes, which haven't come true, but what Allah has. So what Allah has said, what a marriage should be like, and you've broken those rules, then nushuz takes place. Yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Aziz. That was very beautifully explained. So going back to the meaning of the word kavam, like you said, men have taken upon so much of power that they have, taken for themselves without it being given to them. And I feel the same happens with the word nushuz, that they take it to mean anything that is against my wishes. It has to go back to what Allah has given as rights and responsibilities to men and women. Thank you so much. We will continue this program in the next recording that we will have. Thank you all for joining. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.